After cracking open my 10,000th skeleton head, I've had a single enemy type in my game for what's been months now, and I think it's finally time to give these bone bags some friends. Threats is the name I'll be calling my mini-boss style enemies that will be patrolling around in my R.E.P.O meets Dark and dungeon crawling game, and it's about time I started working on one. Now originally I wanted to do the classic Beholder, but given that's under copyright, we're gonna have to settle for an off-brand cousin here. Now in game development, logic dictates that I should really do its behavior and how it works first, but I really have this bad habit of eating veggies last and steak first, so we're gonna do the fun bit first. So here's the blockout stage, and after sculpting out the details a bit more, then throwing him into Substance Painter, and finally finishing off his animations. I'm pretty happy with how this guy turned out. He's still got that Beholder-like energy to him, but he's also got that kind of undead anglerfish kind of going for him as well. Now on to the less exciting stuff. Currently I've been using Unity's nav mesh system as a way for things to navigate around, and while it works for now, getting it to work when I spawn dungeon modules in dynamically has been a bit challenging. Now full disclosure, I'm no coder and I have no idea what I'm doing, so I kind of went in search for a simpler solution that I could wrap my head around easier. It won't be as precise as nav mesh, but maybe when I have a bit more experience I can come back to it later. I decided to use Q pathfinding by VJ Villuri, and I found it to be pretty good so far, though it didn't work completely out the box. This system uses a user-defined node-based system that creates a network of paths that we can access to get information about where we want to go. It's fairly easy to use. You just add the script to a game object, place down the point nodes, and then connect those paths. The problem for me was that these nodes were stored in world relative points, meaning that if we moved the game object it was attached to, the points would not move as well. That poses a bit of a problem. Because we're going to be spawning in modules dynamically, we need to make sure that those points are relative to the game object's local position. So after that's all fixed, now it was just a case of combining these paths at runtime and we're good to go. Now it's back to our little guy to start behavior programming. For this threat, we'll give him the following behaviors. An idle state, pretty self-explanatory. Wandering around a room, looking around its local area and pathing to a random node within range. Wandering to a new random room. We're going to find a module and start pathing there. We want this enemy to be a threat wandering everywhere, similar to how R.E.P.O's mobs work, making cleared rooms also seem dangerous. I think it's also interesting to come across parts of the dungeon and seeing doors already open and creating a sense of alertness that might not happen otherwise. Oh yeah, we're giving him the ability to open doors. I know he doesn't have little hands, but I think it's better than him breaking them down all the time. Chasing a target. We'll be relying on two senses for this guy, sight and hearing. Simply, if the player is seen or heard within its range, it will go running towards the target. When the player is too far away and it still has line of sight, it will begin its beam attack, which will be one of 4 random types: fire, ice, arcane, or dark. And finally, a big old jump attack. Now while chasing a player, when a threat loses sight, it will head towards the last point it saw them, and then look around. If a player flees through a door and then closes it, it'll break down the door, updating the last target position to someone beyond that door. Combining all these elements makes a pretty tough enemy, but there is still lots of improvements to be made in his decision-making abilities, but for now, I'll label it good enough. There has even been some occasions when I've rounded a corner and seen this guy and been mildly startled, which is kind of surprising given I made this guy and understand what he does completely, so it does give me a little bit of hope that this guy can be at least a little frightening. While I'm here, I'll also do more of a general grab bag update as to what's been happening. I'm currently in the process of coding perks and abilities, and here are the current list of what I've got working. I really felt like after getting this new pathfinding system, I needed another mob, so I made this little mushroom guy to hang around. I'm pretty happy with this guy's design. I'd already made some mushroom trees previously, so I thought it would be an interesting addition to include here. And I'd really grown tired of killing these skeletons. I've also added a couple of spells, just a firebolt and a holy hammer. That's about it for today.